Hey guys, this is a Dominator of the World doing a commentary video on Empire Total War multiplayer. And with that rocket shot, my troops start to move off. Eventually. There we go. Okay. In this battle, I command the U.S. and my opponent, Admiral Zebulon, commands Great Britain. So, we'll look at my army first. In my army, I have 3 long riflemen, 4 units of regimental force, my general's bodyguard, 3 units of minutemen, 2 units of rocket troops, 7 units of line infantry. Admiral Zebulon has 2 units of 24-pounder foot artillery, 9 units of line infantry, his general's bodyguard, and 7 units of green jackets. So he has a ton of skirmishers. And I usually don't bring rocket troops to the battlefield because they're very inaccurate at long range and everything. But I was watching reruns of Mythbuster, and this one episode they were doing this. They were trying to break the myth on the Korean Wacha or something like that, which is basically a medieval rocket launcher. So I thought it was pretty BA, so I decided to bring rocket troops to help make my video awesome. Of course, it didn't really help with the result of the battle, but it was still a pretty awesome battle because of them. So anyways, here we're moving our troops up, and on my left flank, I brought my cav up to his artillery, and I've made them a decoy so that I can divert his line infantry from attacking my line infantry, which is going to take out his cannons. But then I lost interest in that part of the battle, and I forgot about my cav, and they got, well, one of them started to rout, and that weakened them. But in turn, my line infantry is going to take out their cannons, so that's a plus. But in retaliation, he's going to send in a whole blob of redcoats to assess to calm down the situation. So here they come. And yeah. But he still has half of his line infantry. And over here on my right flank, his skirmisher line flanked mine, so I decided to cavalry charge his flank. And that didn't work out too great, because one of my cav is already losing morale, so I decided to bring in my general's bodyguard to boost its morale, but that didn't really work. And now I'm going to bring up my minutemen so that they can start shooting them, but that's not going to work because we're shooting our own horses. And now he's bringing up his line infantry to help destroy my minutemen, and they're going to be successful because minutemen have no chance against line infantry. Okay, so anyways, here in the center we're just skirmishing with our skirmishers, and I'm losing because he has more skirmishers, and I've lost my general in that battle. Over on my left flank, I've charged my cav into his blob of infantrymen, and I've bayonet charged my infantrymen into his infantrymen, so I've sandwiched him on one part of his blob, but the rest is free. But that didn't really work out how I wanted to, because I wanted his guys to rout since they were attacked from both sides, so their morale would break. I guess their numbers were too big for that to happen. And over on my right flank, which is in trouble, he's bayonet charged my minutemen, and that's going to cause him to rout. And I was bringing up a unit of line infantry to help them, but I brought them in too late, so they didn't get there in time to help. Not that they would have made much of a difference against so many redcoats, but oh well. So here's his bayonet charge, and there he still has a ton of British, and here's my 1 unit of line infantry. So anyways, back to the Wacha thing, or whatever it's called. Yeah, I was hoping that it would do a lot of damage in this battle, because apparently for the Koreans, it helped defeat the Japanese whenever the Japanese invaded Korea back in the Middle Ages, or Medieval Ages, or whatever. But anyways, it didn't really work out how I wanted to because it didn't help me defeat the British. But I don't think it would have mattered even if I brought howitzers or any other type of cannon. So here on my right flank, here's my line infantry, and he's charging his green jackets into them. And this part's a really cool part because right before his green jackets charge, make contact with my line infantry, my line infantry is going to fire a round at his green jackets and kill a lot of them at point blank range. And there it is. And that's going to cause them to rout, but there's still a lot of British troops that they have to hold off against, and they're not going to be able to do that. But they're going to try. Okay, so here I'm breaking off my line infantry from the main line so that they can assist my flanks, because my flanks are collapsing. And here on my left flank, I have line infantry fighting his line infantry, and they're going to rout because they're simply overpowered. So, now it's just a battle between our infantry units, and he's gonna win since he had so many skirmishers, he was able to take out a ton of my units in the beginning, and he could just finish them off with his line infantry. And right now I'm gonna do a time lapse, and I made a tactical withdrawal toward my rocket troops so that my rocket troops could fire at closer range. Because my rocket troops, at closer range, they are way more accurate, as you can see. And that's going to kill a lot of his troops. And eventually I'm going to bring both of my rocket troops' attention to my left flank, because I'm wanting to do as much damage as possible by the end of it. So anyways, on my left flank, which is where my main force is, we're having a shootout. And on my right flank is being held by one unit of my line infantry, and they're not going to be able to hold much longer, but they're gonna do all right for one unit. So here's my one unit, and right here they're about to rout because a crapload of them are about to die. And there it is. But they're gonna fire one more round before they run away. Okay, so anyways, on my left flank though, we're managing to rout some of his units, and that's thanks to my rocket troops because they're killing a lot of them. But it's also thanks to my line infantry for shooting. But now his rear guard of his big blob is coming up, and now they're gonna overpower my left flank. And I was also kind of hoping that my rocket troops would be a big morale breaker for for Admiral Zebulon's troops, because just looking at the rockets walking towards you, I imagine would be a terrible sight and would break your morale easily. But having them explode right at your feet would be terrible. So I was kind of hoping that would break their morale, and it did for some, but it didn't do it for a lot, which is what I was hoping for, but at least he did it for some. So here he charged his green jackets into my line of infantry, and they routed immediately. And now I've brought both of my rocket troops' attention to my left flank, where we're still having a shootout with our line infantry and skirmishers. Soon I'm going to show you a close-up of the destruction my rocket troops have made in his ranks, because now there are a ton of dead British on the ground, as you're eventually going to see. And my right flank is collapsed, but he decides not to flank me, which I don't know why he didn't. So here's another shot from my rockets. Very cool looking. Okay, so here I'm going to show you the close-up of all the British and what effect my rocket troops have done at close range. And here it is. And a ton of them are dead at big clusters. But anyways, on my left flank, he's managed to rout all of my units except for this one and my rocket troops. And I'm going to charge this line infantry into his line infantry. and in a desperate attempt to make an epic ending, but he manages to wreck them, and I'm gonna end up, some of my line infantry is gonna stop routing, and I'm gonna send them for a final charge, but they're not even gonna reach the enemy lines before they start routing. As you can see, I sent them to charge, and now they're already routing because their morale was so low. And seeing that they were greatly outnumbered and outmatched, they started to rout like midway in their charge. So that's the end of the battle. And I did lose, but I made an awesome video out of it because of my rocket troops. So good game to my opponent, and hope you guys enjoyed this video.